Over the past 20 years or so, the world has come to an end. Let's see, in 2000, the millennium, the Mayas, the Aztecs. There was even one of these so-called Bible scholars who said it would be on, I forget the date, I think it was 2 years ago, Saturday night at 7 p.m. Well, I waited till 7:30 and I said, oh, I guess I'll stick around a little more. We are not at the end of times. That I can guarantee you. We are at the end of an era and entering, we're at the baby steps of a new era, a new age, a new dawn, an ascension. The planet is in transition. You can use the label, the terms that floats your boat, but it doesn't matter. Things are happening. The times are changing, and this doesn't scare me at all. Some aspects, you know, we are a little we are taken aback by, but it doesn't scare me at all. You know why? Because it's the natural order of things. It's progression, it's evolution, it's development. This vibration, the vibration on the Earth sphere, is changing. It's going from one era, one vibration to another. We're in an upgrade mode. It takes time. Let's just think about, you know, from the first moment man incarnated or stepped or walked on this planet, we have evolved. So sometimes, if you look at the evening news, it might not appear so. But yes, we have evolved intellectually. We've changed physically. We've evolved morally. And we're on another step right now to this. The Earth has its place in the universe. The universe is constantly, as far as we know, as far as we can tell, changing, expanding. There is the progress of the worlds, of all the worlds. As we all know there's other planets, other spheres where people live, where spirits are living. All of them are going through a change because there is not chaos in the universe. There is a plan, there is an order, and there is the law. There is the law of progress. It's the natural order of things, but things are speeding up right now. I think, it's my opinion, I think things began to speed up right after World War II. I'm sure all of us can remember seeing those pictures of concentration camps, the human suffering, millions upon millions of people killed because of prejudice, bigotry, hatred, political expediency, political motives. At the end of World War II, the people of the world, they said, hey, wait a minute, you know, someone has to be responsible for this. This cannot happen again. There was a moral shakeup in the world. And people began to realize, hey, we are responsible for one another. And with this with this internet, this quick communications, we are beginning to feel, yes, I am connected to the farmer in China. He has the same ambitions, the same dreams, the same hopes that I do. It's slowly dawning us, yes, we're in this spaceship Earth, we're in this big blue bubble, we're in this together. We are on the same journey, each one in his own path, in his own way. And things are starting to change, and they're starting to change quickly. Let me tell you a story. I remember when I was about 11 or 12 years old, we were living in Utica, New York. And I remember President Kennedy addressing the nation. Me, my mother, my father, my brothers, we were all watching. There was only 3 channels to watch, NBC, CBS, ABC. 2 of them came from Syracuse, so they were a little fuzzy and a little snowy. But I remember President Kennedy telling the American people, hey, look, I'm sending federal troops and federal Martians to Alabama. There is a black person who wants to study. She wants to go to school at a state school, and the governor of Alabama is saying no. Well, we're going there to protect their rights. Now that was about 50 years ago. Look what happened. I don't want to get into the politics, even though I like President Obama a lot. I don't want to get into the politics, but there is a change, a big hurdle called racism, prejudice, intolerance, hatred has been overcome. Of course, there's the reaction to it. Well, you have a little action here and you have a big reaction here, because right now, the new era, I like to say, the breezes are beginning to blow, but over on this side, you got the entrenched powers, you got the winds of the old era that really doesn't want to let go of this vibration. They don't want to go. So you got slowly the soft breezes of new thoughts, new thinkings, new ideas, new morality, a new tolerance are starting to blow softly right now. And you got over here, hey, we ain't gonna go. We ain't gonna go. Change has come to the planet. The Earth itself has shifted its axis, I think 1.5 degrees, because of some earthquakes in Chile. Change is here. There's a change in morality. People are more tolerant, more acceptable. Years ago, gay couple, gay marriage, you never heard of it. Recent polls show in the United States, in Europe, even in machismo South America, people are accepting gay marriage, gay relationships as a part of life. What happened? A new generation has come. New spirits are being born into this vibration, preparing the way for the breezes, opening the doors for the breezes of change, the breezes of the new era, the breezes of the breezes of the millennium, the breezes of the transition. Like I said, use the term you want. You can even call this new generation of spirits, you can call them crystal, you can call them light workers, you can call them indigo. It really doesn't matter. The fact is, changes are happening. And it's the natural course of events, because we are in a constant state of evolution. The world is changing economically, forcing us to reevaluate the way we look at our lives and rethink our values. The last economic crisis was about greed, the effects of greed, the effects of power, the effects of ambition. Okay? You learn the easy way or the hard way. Many people are learning the hard way, that what we thought at one time was the ideal, was that dollar at the end of the rainbow. The streets are paved with gold. We're finding it now that that rainbow can disappear like this. The streets are not paved of gold, maybe fool's gold. And everything that we were told we should have disappeared overnight, like I did it 3 times, snapping my fingers. The easy way or the hard way. There is changing concepts about religion. This new Pope, Francis, he seems to be I was born a Catholic. I was raised, not fanatically, I was raised a Catholic, went to some Catholic schools, never really took. I left the church, I think, when I was still in junior high school, in the Catholic school, because it never really answered my questions. It never really gave me an explanation. It still doesn't, but this new Pope is saying some very important things. Don't worry about the ritual. Worry about your connection with Him. Don't think of Jesus Christ as your personal as your personal Savior. Only through Him can you be saved. Think of Jesus Christ as the example. He came to earth to show us the way. He came to earth to be the example. Not only through faith, but through actions can you save yourself. Sound familiar? Things are changing. The physical aspect of this planet is changing too. Now, I happen to agree, with the great majority of scientists that man is responsible for this. Carbon emissions, the polar ice caps are melting. But the Earth has always gone through changes. Like I said, we're accelerating it right now. But what's going to happen? The United Nations says 50 to 100 years from now, this planet will not be recognizable. Will not support the number of people, if the projections hold true, that are living here. Sea levels are going to rise. The climate change, the way the world produces food is totally going to be changed. Why is all this going on? It's like a juggernaut. Changes in morality, changes in the economy, changes in values, intolerance falling down, social barriers falling down, because the planet is changing. The vibration is becoming a bit higher. It is in a transitional phase. You remember the story about purgatory? I like to say Earth right now was in, it is changing, was in the purge world. Spirits would be born here to purge themselves, to cleanse themselves of ego, of personality, of attachments. It's in a transition. It is going to a regenerative state. It will be a world where those spirits who have gone through the purge, who have cleaned themselves, will have a chance to put it all together, to begin to understand their own spirituality, their own immortality. One time I was asked on an interview show here in Brazil, okay, the world is going through change, it's in a transitional phase, the vibration's going higher, what can you do about it? And I said nothing, nothing, because it's going to happen whether we want it or not. It is the universal law. But now I would answer that question differently. Yes, there is something we can do with ourselves. Ask yourself, are you ready to live in a world without this attachment to earthly possessions, without this obsession? Are you ready to live in a world, not where there's one religion, but where people are more tolerant of other religions and the religions become more spiritual? Are you ready to live in a world without prejudice, where people are more tolerant of each other? That will be the new era. A greater consciousness of who we are, where we came from, and where we were going. A chance to put it all together, to regenerate the spirit. That's what this world is coming to. That is what the new era is all about. That is what the millennium is all about. That is what the transition, the ascension, like I said, use the label you want. It really doesn't matter. How's a question? The earth is changing its vibration. Where do the spirits go who can't live here anymore? Vibrations, they have to match. A lower vibration cannot live on a higher vibration. Where do they go? I thought about that because I think that's where I'm going to go. Let's face it. If you're 18, no. If you're over 40, be generous with ourselves. If you're over 50, we're part of the old era. What's going to happen to us? Well, if we haven't made the shift, if we haven't raised our consciousness, if we're still attached to, worldly things, if we still are attached to our ego, to our personalities, to our pride, to our vanities, to our pettiness, don't worry about it. The Christ said, in my Father's house there are many mansions. In my Father's house there's many vibrations. Look up at the sky at night. We only see, I think, maybe a thumbnail of the whole creation. There are many other places to go, other spheres, other planets, other globes, other vibrations, where we can continue in our own space, at our own time, our own spiritual journey. Someone once wrote, I think it was Allan Kardec, in the Spirits book, that God, universe, universal power, once again, use whatever label you're comfortable with, created all spirits simple and ignorant. And we start evolving. We go through many phases, many stages. We start evolving. We're not simple, and we're certainly not ignorant, but we've acquired things along this route. We've acquired personality. We've acquired our ego. We acquire pride. We become so full of ourselves. We acquire attachments. So our goal, right now, thinking about this big transition that's going on, is to become simple again, not ignorant anymore, because we're beginning to understand we're spiritual beings, but simple again. Simple in our thoughts, simple in our actions, simple in our instincts, simple understanding, not humble, simple. There's a big difference. Simple in our understanding. You and I are one. You and I are together. You and I are separate because each one of us is distinct. Each one of us has his own path to follow. Each one of us has their own experiences. Simple, not ignorant. That is the challenge for me and for you for the new era. Spiritual Light Books has some books about what's going on. The first one, The Return. It's about, the original title was supposed to be New Age Jesus, but I thought I'd be more ecumenical about it. If he should come back today, what would he do? How would we react? What would he say? The Return. He, the messenger of light, begins to talk about the new era, what it's about, what we're going through, what this planet is going through. Then the second book, Coming Out of the Dark. Story begins 2 or 3 weeks before the terrorist attack on the World Trade Center, September 11th. And it ends on September 11th, the morning of the attack. But in between, it tells the story of a spiritual journey by a spirit named Andy, who is looking for the reasons and the motives behind the attacks, behind Hiroshima, behind Auschwitz, Buchenwald, Dachau, behind the Inquisition, behind all the terrible tragedies the earth has gone through. And he comes to the conclusion, after each one of these, a renaissance takes place. Like I say, we either learn the easy way or the hard way. And then there's changes. The earth is leaving the darkness and going into the new light of the new era, the new age, the millennium, the transition from the purging world to the regenerative world. From purging to putting it all together. Tolerance, spirituality, consciousness, the new era, the new age. Thank you.